I've been trying to stop drinking, but every time I go to do some comedy, they got a bar. So I'm like, hey, I gotta take a drink. Yeah. God damn. Hey, speaking about getting your ass whooped, I used to get my ass whooped so much. My mom and dad used to put our shit on calendar, like court. And it'd be crazy, right? Because it'd be like, look at the date, like today, July 31st. I look at the calendar, I'll be like, Mama, let's just say August 25th. Oh yeah, that's some makeup dates. But the shit your ass did last year, we picking up shit now. You know, like court pick up some shit, bring some shit back, whatever it is. Yeah, that's my right there. Yeah. All right, y'all don't mind. I'm gonna be digging in my pocket, looking at my notes. So when you get my age, I should be forgetting shit. All right. So like I forgot hold on a second. Got to run off stage. That's right. Just give me a second. Put this back here. There you go. Stay right there. All right. Hey, check this out. I got some of my folks in the crowd. My boy T.A. Scott. I got my boy Andre, that I went to school with. Tamika, her husband. I'm back. Significant other, whoever. You know, I forgot your name. You know, I told you, I'm old. I be forgetting shit. But Tamika and her husband, they came to my first show 10 years ago. I've been doing comedy on and off for about 10 years. Hey, thank you, yeah. But if you run that shit consecutively, in about 6 months. So my first comedy that I did, I was all amped up and everything. And how it started was, as Michael Booker was the owner, right? And so I was at a comedy club. I went to the comedy club. I was just saying some funny shit. And he came up to me and said, hey, what's your name? I'm like, it wasn't George back then, it was Tommy, my government name. And he's like, you ever did comedy before? I was like, no. He said, you want to do some comedy? I was like, I guess. He said, go do an open mic and I'll put you on the show. I was like, cool. So I was on the show with Hent Singleton and a well-known comedian named Mike Winfield. Mike E. Winfield, matter of fact. And so I was like, okay, cool. I got there. The first 45 seconds, I killed it. The other 6, 7 other minutes, I didn't. Now I'm gonna tell you how bad it was. You know, they used to throw tomatoes at people when they was bad and everything and stuff. This shit was worse. I actually saw a lady that was right there. She had a tablet. And she opened up that shit. And it said, and I read it, I was standing right there and I read it. This motherfucker right here, he ain't even funny. I don't even know why I paid my $20 to come see this motherfucker. And just cussing the whole damn time. I'm like, damn, is that bad? So Mike came on stage, he said, give it up for, at the time I was Tommy G. He said, give it up for Tommy G. So he'll next be performing at the Eastmont Mall. I might even go to Eastmont Mall. What are you talking about? They closed that damn thing down like 20 years ago. So my boy Hent came up to me and he's like, hey, look, you did good for your first time. He said, you just need to work on your time to your stage presence. So I did. I went back to the drawing board, worked on my time and stage presence, right? So next time I did comedy, I talked about the first time I did comedy and didn't do all that well and everything stuff. Hence put his arm around my shoulder and said, hey, you need to work on your time and stage presence. So I did. So I worked on my timing. Pulled up my sleeve, got a bunch of watches on. Timing. I worked on my stage presence as well. Young lady came up, had a bag, she handed it to me, bunch of presents in it. Stage presents. Had a couple of presents in there. So I passed them out and everything. You know, they look like Christmas gifts. Pass out, and I was like, hey, look. These are presents that I give to my relatives that I don't like. So they was kind of scared to open it up and everything. So y'all cool, y'all can open them up. So the first lady, she opened it up. It was a roll of toilet paper. I'm like, yeah, that's from my Uncle Harry. He full of shit. The next one was, this lady, she opened it up, she said, it's a thing of condoms. Oh yeah, that's from my cousin Larry. He got 5 kids, 6 baby mamas. Y'all can sign it. Oh, I said one was a 2-for-1. Yeah. Hey, did y'all see the Chauvin trial, whatever it was, Chauvin, with the George Floyd and everything? Did anybody see a round of applause or something? I mean, some people saw it, 2 people, so one and a half stars and shit. Hey, but this shit was crazy, right? Because there was a dude that they had on trial, not on trial, but they had him up there, and he was on a witness stand. And he was the guy that called the police on the police. That's some shit. When you gotta call the police on the police. And so, then they asked me questions and everything. Why did you call the police on the police? He said, because I didn't trust them motherfuckers because they already had a knee on a black person's neck. I didn't want to be next. So, I'm asking some other questions and everything. So I'm like, hey, well, did you say blah, blah, blah? And he was like, if it's in the video, they say, yeah, and I guess I did. So then, they got to the end, they said, did you say blah, blah, blah to Officer Chauvin? He said, he grabbed the mic close to that, yes, I did. So I thought about it like if somebody like Ray Charles was a witness, and they had him on the witness stand, right? So I was like, hold on a second. He's like, Mr. Ray Charles, you was a witness for the George Floyd, so we want to get your take on it. They say you was a witness and you saw what happened. Can you give us a little bit of explanation?
Well, you see, I didn't see everything, but
Really, Mr. Charles, you didn't see everything? Aren't you legally blind?
That is true. I am legally blind, but I have 5 senses, and I use all of them. I heard the crackling of the knee on the neck, and then I smelled the blood from the inside of him that didn't come out, but I know he was bleeding inside because
Really, Mr. Ray Charles?
That's my testimony, and I'm gonna stick with it.
I know. Rest in peace, Ray Charles. I'm sorry about that. Told you I have to look at my cheat sheet. See what I'm talking about.
I got 1 minute. I got 1 minute. I got like 5 more things to talk about.
Okay. Oh, I can get in on this one then. Hey, don't get no round of applause. I don't want nobody to get beat up. But most of us, or some of us, we caught COVID. And the thing is that our family members and our friends, I'm starting to see the division and everything. You call your family members or whatever, say, hey, I'm gonna come over and have a cup of coffee with you. No, you're not.
Why?
Because your punk ass ain't been tested yet. Or you ain't took the shot, you ain't took the vaccine or whatever stuff. Well, I did, I caught it, so now I'm immune. And they're like, no, that's not the same. And I said, if you want to meet, or if you want to talk, we'll just talk on Facebook.
but you can't come here. And if you do, you come to the front door. I got the little trying thing and stuff that can see you. I'll talk to you from that. But you can't come inside. You know my husband got epilepsy and shit. You know, just one little thing with him, it's a done deal. So, my time is almost up. I'm gonna do this one little joke. Alright, that's it. I went to this place called Planet. Y'all ever heard of Planet up in way north, like probably about 5-10 minutes I think from the Oregon border, I don't know. So I walked in there. About 6-7 people in there, plus the waitress. The waitress was like, she walked up to me with this concerned look, and she was like, excuse me, sir. Did you see the sign? I was like, no. She's like, no colors. I was like, well, I'm colorblind. So she stepped back and she's like, well, we don't serve Negroes. I said, I don't need them either. All right, and that's my time, you guys. I'm George Mack. Have a lovely time. Thank you guys. Good night.